All right, good morning traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We hold this webinar every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. We're going through all markets, I lead the education here at Bookmap. We're going through all markets, this is why we're going through all of the markets here. It is a foundation. So that we have many other traders that learn order flow or understand the fundamentals here in Bookmap, and then can take it with their strategies and take it much further. Let me show you what I mean here. So in our learning center, if you go to bookmap.com, and then if you click on the More button up here and you go to the Learning Center, you can come here for getting connected videos. We have 2 courses here, Getting Started and Market Mechanics course. We will have another one on setups here coming up in the next month or so. And then we have all of these streamers in here. This is what I want to show. Every day we have a full packed schedule here. So scroll down a little bit further and you'll see what I mean. Here is Monday here. Earlier we had Charles, excellent trader, volume profile trader, pirate traders here. Then all markets webinar right now. Then right after that we have Paco with Brazilian futures, excellent trader as well. It is in Brazilian Portuguese. And then Tom B from the Traders Lab going over again volume profile like Charles. Then we have options with Doug at 1:30, and then at 2:30 into the close we have the algo boys. So that's just the lineup for Monday. You can see every day we have a jam-packed schedule here. All right, so we have many different traders come to these webinars on YouTube. Some of them are not offered there. You'll have to come to our Discord channel to get more out of it. All right, so I just want to go through that. We have quite a variety of different styles and different markets, and this is more of a foundation of understanding all markets. So ask any questions. We can look at any symbols you want, and we can cover any type of trade setups that you want. You can reach me at Bruce at Bookmap on our Discord, or my Twitter handle, or X, whatever it is now, at Flow Order. All right, let's go through disclosures and jump in here. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in. We're going to look at the ES. This is what everyone typically wants us to take a look at. So we start there. Let me know if you want to look at anything else. Good morning over in YouTube. BBM, you're waiting on a sign of credentials for your Rhythmic CME. Okay. No, just if you just purchased this morning from the Bookmap Marketplace, Rhythmic data, yeah, it takes a little bit, but just hit up support and they'll tell you what's going on. All right, good morning, Jack. Thanks for coming. Karma FX. All right, let's jump in. Let's get started here, let's start with a bigger picture. All right, then we're going to zoom into the order flow here. The bigger picture is important here today. Well, it's always important. It's a critical part of understanding what's going on in the order flow. In fact, we have a kind of an odd way of looking at it. I just believe in it fundamentally. Like what you're looking at here in Bookmap, if we go down to sub-second levels and understand order flow and volume and the order book in here, and you can look for certain scenarios to unfold due to imbalances in the order flow or the behavior of traders to give us direction in a certain way. Understanding all of this and the market mechanics can translate into the higher time frames like the daily, monthly, weekly, hourly here in the middle, and then the 15-minute here on the right. Right. So the same concepts. Let's go over the daily here. We'll start with that. All right. So what's going on here in the daily? And it's a tough one to ascertain today, because look at the move on Friday. This move up above into very, very high liquidity here. I'm sorry, this move, a very high volume, and high enough at least. High volume was actually the day before, but we're up at the highs of this range here. Like on this day here, we had to be very careful that it gapped up and opened to the upside here, and then it came back down and through that area. Now there was some fundamental news from Japan that also caused this move, but we saw the reaction the day after, followed by strong buying. And again, this one here now, we kind of gapped up. We went above the previous swing high here, around 46, whatever it was, 15 or so, and then we're back in the range here. Okay, so that's what the daily is showing us right now, and we don't really know what's going on in here. We don't really see too much. We do know, and it's fact, that we're up here and we are trading and transacting up here. That's a very bullish sign, right? We're back in the range now though, and we see the move to the downside, and we're right now in the middle here. It's a bit of a green candle, but that can change at any minute here. All right, so we're bullish. We see this here. If we get more momentum to the upside, great. Let's just move on to the hourly, and we can see here what's going on. All right, we can see the this move up above this swing here, and then the failure right back down. So the hourly is kind of all over the place. We see that this failed up here above the swing high, right back in the middle here, and still between or above these wicks down here around 4,600. So that's still looking pretty good. Now, what about the 15-minute chart? All right, so we see the gap here, the gap up, the retest of that gap, and then you see the buyers come in. Now, I'm sorry, that's not today. Here's today. It did gap up, but we did fill the gap. We went below the gap into these wicks here from Friday. Okay, so this is still bullish here. Okay, it didn't go down to the lows in these areas in here. Right, so now we have kind of a bullish slant here, but we did pull back, we did fill the gap, and then some, and now we're back up here again. Right, so if we're looking for more buyers then in here, we're looking for this 46.12 area and this recent swing high here to transact, and then possibly break, and then come back up into maybe 46.16 to 46.18 or 19. Right, so there's a few scenarios to go through on the bullish side. Bearish side, we come up here, we fail up here at this recent swing high, and we see sellers come in, and then we start to target these lower these wicks down here, and then down into these previous day wicks down and test the figure at 4,600. Right, so that's a few different scenarios to go through on the higher time frame. All right, so here we go, and looking at the S&P right now, and here we are trading up into this previous swing. Looks pretty good for the continuation here, up into 12, and let's see if they can really start to step it up, and we look for the move up into maybe this kind of 14 or 15 liquidity up here. This 12.5 has to trade first, and that's what we were just looking at on the 15-minute candlestick chart. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at this move compared to this move to the downside. Okay, so far, actually, the move to the downside is a lot more powerful, a lot more. Right, so we can see a lot more volume in here on the sell side. Right, so the sellers are in control from this time period onward, and that's just what we see in here with the speed of the moves. The order flow is also helping, but also the transactions, okay, within the moves here. So this is more like a low volume pullback at this point right now. Right, so then we're going to go through the other scenario, like we're not going to come up into 12. We're not going to come up into 15. We're going to look for exhaustion here on this move up into this previous swing. Okay. We're going to look for a lack of buying in here. We're not going to look for green dots. We're going to look for nothing. And then we're going to look for red dots, maybe down around here, around 11.5. And we want to see the book also shift and change. Right now it's bullish here. They're bidding up here. They're pulling here. And we just got a little bit of a buying coming in here. Okay, so this is actually bullish. So we're still kind of sticking with our first scenario. Maybe this move up into like 15 or so. Okay, 12.5 transacted and they pulled actually right there. All right, so just going through these scenarios rather quickly, but we're going to look at the behavior in here of the traders to tell us which direction the market wants to go. Okay, so yeah, pretty wicked little move. Well, not so wicked, but we see the move up and then no follow through. Even though the order book is supporting it here, and we did have the buyers here. Okay, we did get our sellers down in here. And we did get a move down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, so we covered the other one too. What's tricky about this little order flow event in here is that the book was pretty bullish and we did get the big green dot here. So based on that, we would look for the continuation here. Actually, here they go again. So actually it's looking, we're coming back up here. Get our green dot up here. It would be more probable that we will get the move up into 15. Okay, and you can see that it's not happening right now. Okay, so it exhausted here at 12.5. Let's see if we get it again. Nope, nothing. All right, so let's see if sellers can break the bottom of this range and trade down into 08. Liquidity down here, 08.5, 09 to 08.5. I would look for this range to break here. Is there any questions on this? Now this is dynamic, right? Here we were looking at, we had the pieces for this to go up into 15 here, or higher liquidity for sure. And we had a small little retest here, nothing traded. That is our exhaustion. Okay, but we got the sellers down in here. Not so much here, we got them here. And so kind of down pretty far. It didn't really give us much of a clean move to the downside here. Okay, so now here's our sellers down at the bottom of the range here. And let's see if we can get a bit more and then a break. Okay, why are we looking for the move to the downside? More than the move to the upside here. Let's see here. Let me get to some questions while I wait and answer. Yeah, we can take a look at the dollar yen. Why not? We'll look at the 6J. It's a good idea. Thanks, Ronnie. Now the order book is showing some strength here actually. So we were looking, the reason that we were looking for more for the move to the downside here than the move to the upside. Let me just check over in Discord here. Anyone came in? Well, it was just because of these sellers being in control here, and this being a low volume pullback here. All right, that's the reason. Right, so this is the drive here. Right, this is the pullback, and now we're looking for a potential drive again, okay, to the downside. So here's your impulse move. Impulse move, pullback, followed by impulse move. Right, so that's what we're looking for in the bigger picture here. Medium term picture, actually. Bigger picture is a little different. All right, so back and forth in here. Let's see if we get it this time. Nothing yet. Nothing looking good. We do have nice little exhaustion here and here. We do see some selling coming in here, but yeah, it's just looking pretty choppy in here today. I mean, this is here's why. I mean, look at the order book, and we're getting something interesting here. A little bit of insight here. All right, so we always love to see this. Get some insight from these sellers here, limit sell orders that did transact. Okay, this is where this kind of testing of the market can give us some insight, and we're gonna read this here. Okay, so we found actually some buyers take these guys on, but can they get above it here on more buying? Okay, if not, I'm looking for the sellers here to take this market down. And nothing yet. This is a tricky, I mean, kind of tricky order flow. We're getting a couple of like good pieces, and then like one piece kind of missing. You know, like up in here, actually, we did have the pieces for the move higher. And then we got the exhaustion. And then that second scenario started to unfold down here, a little bit here, but it really is here. And it's too far. It's already at the bottom of the range here, basically. All right, so nothing concrete right now at the moment. And let me see here. You know, there was a question I got over the weekend. So let's go and answer that. The question was, can you read and use Bookmap minutes before the cash open to get insight? And it sounds like it's kind of an odd question, or the answer is kind of odd, because it's like, you know, is there some sort of magical indicator out there that'll tell you, oh, you should go long at the cash open? No, the answer is no, in that sense, because there's so much going on, there's so much volatility. We don't know how much volume is in here that may power through even like, let's suppose down here. Now you can see we didn't go further below here at the open, below 46.10, maybe a little bit below it, but not much. Why? I mean, we have high liquidity in here. Okay, well, we just don't know how much supply is in here. There could have been aggressive sellers come in, and they'll just completely wipe out this liquidity. They'll just take it and continue on lower. That we just don't know. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to read these components in here, and then we're going to look for the behavior in here to give us some insight. So we know that there's high liquidity in here, and they're even pulling in here. Some of it transacted in here, but a lot of it kind of pulled just before. They come back in again at 46.10, right? And we have some liquidity in here as well, but we got buyers that took them on. And now this is looking pretty good. Can you guys see this here? Again, this is looking pretty good. Now we know in hindsight that this worked out. But what we have is high liquidity coming in, even a little bit higher underneath here. our aggressors took on these guys here at 46.12, traded into, and there's still more buying pressure above it, and they're pulling liquidity up in these areas up in here. Therefore, we're looking for buyers to the aggressors to take it back up and test into these previous areas up here, these swings, as well as the liquidity. Okay, and it kind of struggled for a little bit, and then finally got it, and then look at the move up into 16. Okay, and beyond here. Okay, now we went through the same process here on another example. Okay, right in here. It looks pretty good. And yeah, this one, it failed. You know, how we'll go over the trade management on this, but take the small scratch. You know, don't get caught up in this. You know, again, this is like basically a counter trend trade too. So, you know, how much do you really want to put on this? Okay. So we're talking about trade management and money management at this point. Okay, so looking for something higher probability. So anyway, to get back and answer the question on can you use the order book? Yeah, you can. I mean, it depends on the open, and it really depends on also the bigger picture. Okay, this is all contextual. It's not like one-dimensional here. Okay, and the more that you can get on your side, the better. Okay, the probabilities will just be better. So if you had you know, a higher time frame outlook, that this was like a bottom of a range, and which actually it kind of is, bottom of the breakout in here, you see a lot of buying up here. You get a retest down here, and they fail to get it through. You start to look for buying pressure to come back in and test back up to here, minimum, and maybe they can break it. All right, so this auction down here, it failed at the open, and there's still more liquidity in here. That's how to read this. You know, if you look at let's suppose the book was like, you know, just super thick in here, levels and levels and levels of liquidity, okay, in this area, and you had the same setup. You had the green dots up in here that broke the swing here. And you can see this is good. Okay, green dots up in these areas in here. Now, what about down here? Do you have a lot of red dots in here? Yeah, there's a few, okay, but there's still quite a bit of green coming in again. Now, it basically, it should have worked on this leg here. Get one more test, and then right in here is starting to look pretty good, for moving it back up into the top of the range in here. Right, so now if you had that book in here, very bullish book, and they trade into this liquidity and they're still in here, then you've really got something, and that answers the question. Okay, so the book would be very obvious in this case, but to think of this as some sort of like oh yeah, it's just going to give me like you know, the answer right away, and I'm just going to be bullish at the open. Sometimes it will be like that. A lot of times it won't. Let's take a look at Tesla, for example. Okay, do we get anything like that? No, not really. Not really. What about Apple? Now, all of these opens are kind of tough. NVIDIA, same. It's all over the place. Okay. Let's take a look at the 6J. I like that idea, and I'll talk about this kind of striation pattern that you're seeing in here and what's going on there. Let's see, JJ, how can you read the sell-off around 10:15? We'll take a look at that in the S&P, right? Okay, well, 6J is showing some strength in here. So that means, you know, and we would assume that it would be a stronger yen. This is really disruptive, what happened last Thursday. So market's still kind of messing around with that, trying to figure it out here. But we would assume there should be a stronger yen. And this is more, you know, geopolitical and global, you know, central banks and the you know, money sloshing around the globe here, and it's having a pretty big impact on the market. Anyway, you can see the behavior in this instrument here is very different. You can see every 4 ticks. Okay, so that means like every basically every pip. This is futures, not the currency spot. You know, you can see liquidity in here. And this is larger player activity. There's a lot of hedging and back and forth used in this instrument, and you can see it within the behavior. Right, so that's why you see it. That's why this heat map looks so different compared to the S&P. All right, so understand your markets, understand what the markets look like, and understand the behavior behind it. And it is telling you right in here by looking at the liquidity heat map. Okay, JJ, let's take a look. S&P. Wow. Okay, so we retraced all the way back up here. Okay, now we're starting to get our sellers. And now let's take a look at that volume, though. It's a little more complex than I mean, the volume that came in here, yeah, this is where it did pick up. You can see it, but it really picked up down here. And we also had the big stop run. So, I mean, you could start to understand, like, these areas, who's in control. And even the buyers come back up and test this areas. Now the sellers are coming back in. Okay, and they have a free run here to take it down to 08 and remain in control. Take it down into 7, 4, and you know, lows of the day basically. Okay, the opportunities here. If sellers are looking to move this market here. Okay, they got the buyers kind of on the ropes here. Let's look at 10.15 to 9.50 to 10.15. Was this a good setup? All right, well, let's break it down for a short. Again, let me just start off, JJ, by saying this is not a trade recommendation room. Okay, the risk disclosure. I mean, you know, we're in here to just go through order flow and present ideas on understanding order flow as an edge, and then you can it's a starting point for you to go back and study something like this. Right? You need to do the back testing. You need to you know, find that if it's higher probability or not. And to be honest, like yeah, you need to find that edge, but it's going to be more important about how it fails, probably more often than not, and how do you manage it when it fails. When it goes right, it's easy. Okay, but going over like when it fails is going to be really. All right, so I would look at this little area as being pretty critical here. This is a stop run here. Okay, there's a pretty big one. We can zoom in and we can find out exactly how many are stops. In fact, I'm curious about that. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so it's a huge stop run. Okay, now look at the aggressor here that came in and started triggering these stops. Okay, it's 910. That's a really big stop run. You can see the whole evolution of it. It started right here, meaning that this aggressor, okay, that came in and started hitting a bid really hard was triggering stops from potentially this point up here at 11 1/4 all the way down to this point here at 8 3/4. So a 3-point range. There's stops being triggered in here, and now they're triggering down below. We don't know, like, there might be stops in here as well. We can see the details, but there's stops in here triggering all the way down, right, to here. And then after all those stops are filled, okay, that was the bottom of the range in here. A little bit more selling, and then we get a pullback here. All right. So and then the sellers continued, and the stop run continued as well. Yet again in here, same behavior, just a lot less, as 107 here. Right. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at this event in here, and guys, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Why is it happening here? Why? Hey, look at the we were just kind of covering this in here, this bounce to the upside at the open, answering another question, powering through this area here as a stop run. Okay, everyone that was long in here, and they had their reasons for being long due to the higher time frames. Okay, they're all a lot of them are just getting annihilated. They're placing their stop below, and someone came in and just nailed all of them. So that aggressor, and to me it looks like larger player activity in here that is able to just sweep that order book like that. So anyway, we have this event here is, or this level in here is something I would be looking at right in here, and I would be looking for a short in there somewhere. Okay, and I don't see it yet. I don't see it at all. Maybe in here, but like, there's liquidity in here too getting filled. So and then it made sense up here as well. We're looking for it. Now the market came all the way back up into, is it 15 or 16 in here? Yeah, 16. Okay, so it came up to here, and this is where it dropped. And now you can see our rectangle's not so bad. We came up to 16 and a half. In fact, you could probably take the rectangle up to about here, where it truly did drop from up here, 17 and a half, 17 3/4. But look at the bigger dots in here. Okay, right around 16. Right, so that's why we can see a retest back up into that area where those sellers are. All right, makes sense. Okay, I hope that helps. JJ, start to understand now. Up in here, where do you look for like a higher probability setup up in here? Okay, well, not yet. Like buyers coming in, even this move here, still bullish in here. Sellers pound it through bottom of the range, comes back up in here. This is where it starts to look better. Okay, now this is of course hindsight, and I would say this is still tricky in here because here's our exhaustion up in here. Okay, well, we got high liquidity underneath here, and now this is looking better. High liquidity also at 15. What's the reaction? If we don't see much buying up here at all, but we don't see a whole lot of selling yet either. See some in here. That's about it. The sellers take them on here. This is where we can get the insight though, right? Now it's tricky because it's at the bottom of this range here, okay? And then the sellers continue, right? So there's selling pressure after this test into this liquidity here on the bid, okay? Anyway, that one, it worked out pretty well. Look at the retest back up just now, okay? Back up to this swing here, actually, where those sellers came in. I would look for this one first and went above it and went to this swing here. Okay. So, well, then how do you handle some of these things? Look for, especially on days like today where we don't quite know, we're looking for some chop back and forth. You can start to take some off at the bottom of the ranges or high liquidity. And then I would just take the scratch. Right, I'm looking for a follow through, and we're just not going to get it in some of these moves. Is what the market's telling us so far. Rob, you made a good trade. All right, we'll take a look at it here in just a minute here, and then slow down. Taking a look at the ES order flow, an aggressor step in, swept the order book, added pressure to the downside. Okay, let's take a look. Thanks, slowdown. Love your content. Oh yeah, nice. 4-point sweep. Oh, this is what we just covered, right? I think 16 or at 10. Okay, I think that was the next one. No. This is it. The 911. You looking at 16? Oh no, you're right. You're looking right at it. Yep. Oh, you're way ahead of me. Slow down. I got to speed up. Sorry about that. So, oh yeah, this is beautiful too. Right back into this high liquidity here. Absorbed. Exhaustion. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's perfect. Iceberg and absorption and high liquidity in here. Beautiful. Yeah, just great stuff. And then another sweep. We saw the other sweep as well. High liquidity underneath. Yep. This is a move. We've seen this behavior again and again. I'm fascinated by it. And we can now we need to draw something away from it. It's right here. Okay. Here's the book sweep by the larger player and a bit of a stop run, and then they place their iceberg order right underneath into high liquidity as well, and they actually start to transact. Here's our iceberg, 100. Here's 200. Here's another iceberg. A few different icebergs here. Okay, this is guaranteeing them a fill. Basically, it's kind of a dirty trick. It's like sweep the order book and then throw your iceberg under, back on top of it here. So basically, this is the mechanics is similar to a flip of the book. And the flip of the book usually happened up here at the beginning of the move. They pulled that liquidity, hit the bid hard with the aggressors, hit some stops, and then throw more liquidity on the other side here. Now they're doing it, but they're doing it down here with an iceberg. I don't like this behavior. I mean, I wonder what the governing bodies feel about this, if this is disruptive or prohibitive practice. But we've seen it many times. Now the funny thing is the market did go down. We've seen this so many times it actually kind of fails. Maybe they're just who knows what their positions are in the longer time frame or in the bigger picture. But a lot of times we see this kind of near the end of moves as well, which is really curious. And then right now it's really back and forth in here. But thanks Slowdown. Really nice stuff. And then Rob will take a look at yours as well. We get over to YouTube though and see if there's more questions. Anurag, for your shading the time frames in here, I mean, what you can do is with a rectangle, basically. There is no kind of other way to do it in Bookmap. So let's just clear all the drawings, and if you want to shade the pre-market here, then yeah, come up to the pencil tool, hit rectangle, and then you can basically outline everything up to 930 here. You can also use a vertical line if you want. Place it here. Yeah, Jack has already answered the question. Okay. The E mark here, yeah, this little E means execution or executed, fully executed iceberg order. Okay, so it might be canceled or it might be executed. So you can see like there was one measly little iceberg order in here that transacted right here. This is where the D means detected, and you will only see that if you zoom in. Otherwise, you'll see that it'll just say C1. So it was detected here and it was canceled here, and that much we know. All right, so that's what the C means in the D. The E means it was executed, fully executed. And let's show an example of that. Okay, see this iceberg up here? It's still live, and it says 158 and parentheses 1. So there's one iceberg order up here. If it was 2 up here and it said 158, we would know there's 2 iceberg orders up here for a total of 158 that have already transacted back here. Okay, and you can see they're front running the high liquidity right here at 46.20. Here's another one fully executed. You can zoom in here and you can really look at the details here. There's no other platform that can do this that I've seen. To really see these details here. Here's another. Just see the whole evolution here of that iceberg. Here's a big one here for 15.53. Okay, and you can see when it started, how long it was in the market, when it transacted, etc. All the details. A lot of times you'll even see that it'll move down, whatever. So the big transactions actually took place here, 626 on this little area here, which we break it down. You can continue to zoom in, and you see what's going on here. 71 detected, 107, 159. T means transaction, trade. It doesn't matter. And then you'll see the full execution here, right? And that's when that iceberg was finished, and we know that. This is just fact. Okay, looks like I think I'm caught up on questions. Okay, excellent. All right, well, let's zoom back out and let's see this choppy day here. What's kind of going on in here? Oh, okay. Well, same behavior again. You can see this guy just came in. Boom. Okay, not just some minutes ago. Same exact behavior. Actually, we were just kind of covering it, right? Here's the iceberg underneath it. Let's mark this up here because this iceberg continues to transact at this 46.10 level. Okay, so is that coincidence in here? And we already know that this is like that bottom of this range. This is kind of critical in here. Yeah, here's that iceberg behavior again here. So it's a little bit lower, 09. So, and there's 3 different icebergs in here for that 1488 a transaction. Right, so someone is, is it positioning themselves for a short for the day? I don't know, but they continue to add to the position, okay, or exit the position. Doesn't matter. We know the level in here, and this is what we're watching. And now we are above that level right now. Okay, so guys, look and start to understand this kind of behavior in here, And then look how this can add to your volume profile studies if you're a profile trader. It is this behavior that we are recognizing is building out this edge on the profile. It's because of that, right? So now what does that mean down here? Well, you know, for profile traders, you understand what this means, this big kind of lump here at the bottom of the edge here. Okay, this is a weak bottom. So it just means a lot of transactions are taking place down here, and we know who it is as well. So if the scenario is, we can even trade down to it. Here's exhaustion, here they're pulling here. Let's see if we get red dots in here right now. Okay, if we do, there's a potential move to trade back down to where it can transact due to these high volume nodes down here. And there's also the potential to break it, because we know that when you have a weak bottom, a lot of trading at the bottom of the edge here, you can get price discovery. Okay, so let's see if we can look for a setup in here. Okay, well, high liquidity up here. Sellers starting to come in. A little bit of exhaustion up here. So we're looking for sellers here, and then to break this little range to come down to the bigger range down here. There we go. Okay, so there's some selling. Now I don't really like this. I like the idea. I like the setup. Does it really look high probability? I don't know if it's ready for it yet. We've been really choppy in here, and we've seen a lot of different order flow back and forth in here. I do like that we have a lot of exhaustion up here, though. That looks pretty good. And that definitely adds to it. All right, and we just had a barrage of selling in here too. Okay, so let's see if we can get back down here again at 12.5. Get that selling. There's our exhaustion. All right, now sellers, they got to show up here. Okay, nothing yet. Okay, high liquidity at 12, just starting to transact right there. See that? We found some buyers. So this is not looking that all of that good now. Like, you know, we know there's some buyers in here too. And now they might get upended. It might be a stop run here. So that could be the fuel that we're looking for. All right, here come the sellers. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for it to happen. I don't really like it. It's just been really back and forth day. But that's the scenario. Okay, and then this trade here, or possible trade, maybe we'll see something in here where it looks better. Okay, but this and this is just trading it down to here. Okay, it takes some off, and then this is a bigger trade, right? You're looking for this to break into and your profile here to break, and then to start fill in the areas down here where it didn't really auction very much. All right, so that's the scenario. And you know, we're kind of staying away here, and for good reason. I mean, like some selling in here, a lot of buying, and buyers taking it back up into this range. All right, does that make sense? Is it kind of clear what we're looking for in this scenario and why? In the bigger picture, sellers remain in control here as well. Well, we drew this up here due to stops and icebergs, but you know, it's also where a lot of transactions were taking place here. Actually, it's the opposite scenario that is unfolding. This is why we cover the opposite scenario. I don't believe in this one either, but they are pulling up here, and we are getting buyers, right? So they're going to test anyone that sold in here. And we just don't see anything really great right now. Yes, that's right. Alois, excellent. Thank you. The red line here is stops. The blue line is icebergs. Yeah, I covered it, slow down, and then you posted it just a bit earlier, though. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, like it's easier to talk about these things than it is to mark it all up. Nice job. All right, let's take a look at what Rob had posted here. Okay, so yeah, you saw that stop run here. Yeah, you're looking exactly at the same thing. Yep, nice. Nice, Rob. Yeah, and you have your reasons for getting out up in here. Exactly. You know, this level up here. Now it came up further, right? But you have your reasons. No, I'm sorry, it did not come up further. That was the area. Yep. Yep, beautiful. If there's any kind of like I don't know, insight, maybe comments I can give Rob is it's kind of similar to JTrader. Like, I mean, the sellers are in control. This is a counter trend trade. However, like you start to look for like when buyers start to take control on the smaller time frame. This is a great entry down here. I really like it. This is where the buyers started to take control in here. Right now, you know, it went against you immediately. And then again here, though, I still think this is a good entry, like in this area here. You just zoom into it. And maybe it's not your trading style or anyone else's trading style. That's fine. But I want to see basically what we're looking for in the order flow is we're looking for some support or some demand down here. And then we're looking for the aggressors to start to move it away from areas on high volume. And that would be your tape reading. And you can see the move, the pullback, buyers here, sellers trade into them, but it can't get above. That's again looking good. And then there's your first take profit. Good, great, right back up into that area. Beautiful. Yeah, real nice, Rob. Just I would say these entries are there's a lot of risk underneath here that you're taking. Okay, I don't know if that's it. Maybe you might want to revisit that in terms of like, is it FOMO? Is it like you know, why were you considering entering in there? And this is what like Deborah had asked about, like always getting in at these really bad areas. Take a step back on that, on the entries, and then you know try to look at it a bit more objectively. Have your reasons for it. You're really looking. It should really kind of hit you over the head that you know you're looking for it. I don't know. And that's my only comment. The exits look fantastic. Really nice. They're beautiful. Yeah, just this area in here. I know you're getting it on a pullback, and you're probably looking for it to come right back up here immediately. See, your stop was up here. This is something I just love about Bookmap as well. Look how you guys can read the liquidity. I'm sorry, your trade activity. Okay, your stop was way up here. You moved it down, or your take profit. You can't avoid it. It's all time based as well. You moved up your stop as well. So you just had really, really wide stops. And then you have a bracketed trade, it looks like, and then you just move them manually around, which is a great way to go. So the moment you're in, you have really wide stops. You kind of look and see what's going on, and then you can kind of manage your stop and take profit. Real good stuff there. And also you showed a volume profile in here. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that. Don't have the, kind of see the dates down here, 30th. I guess that's 28th or something. So this is today. Yeah. I mean, see, look at the big profile, building out here that we were just looking at, right? Due to all that iceberg activity. Let's see what kind of effect it had on the market here. We're still just chopping around up in this area here. Okay, and it's eroded that edge in here. See how now all of this trading activity up here, and what we were kind of focusing on was this down by this line here around 10. It still may break. In fact, this might be the fuel. So watch this. We'll kind of home in on this level here at this 1175, which keeps on tempting us here. But perhaps this is going to be the fuel that we're looking for the move down here and then the potential break. All right, and if that scenario is going to unfold, let's read it. Okay, and I'm going to clear the drawing so we can read it a little bit better. And I'm going to take the stops and icebergs on chart off so we can just see it a little bit. Okay, always have it in the subchart though. Yeah, see, it's just not quite ready for that scenario here. Still seeing buyers come in. And buying pressure. I mean, up here, not even a little bit of a skew in the book here, and we're finding buyers trade into high liquidity that's at a lower level here. So we know that there's buying pressure still in here. Okay, maybe we'll get the short squeeze now up here. Maybe the scenario will be we'll come all the way back up here into like 18 or so, or maybe even above, and then fail and then come back down, and we really see it speed up below 10. Who knows? Just kind of thinking out loud of some different scenarios and be prepared for them. This is something Slowdown had mentioned to me, something that he learned, I don't know, some months ago, like, kind of clicked with him. Like, you're not always looking for, well, we always seem to be looking for a breakout of a move or a range. And that doesn't necessarily have to happen at all. And typically the markets don't. So on certain days, maybe you want to maybe you have range bound strategies that you're looking at instead of looking for these bigger moves to unfold. Okay, we're just kind of preparing for these bigger moves and looking for it to unfold. But we can go over lower time frame, we can go over range bound trades, etc. No problem. I mean, this is a rejection right below the range here. Okay, so this is meaning that we should get our short squeeze now. okay, to the upside here. So yeah, it's set up nicely in here. Even though this whole time we were bearish and we had our reasons and we had this profile and everything, here's what's unfolding. Yeah, I mean, this is it's kind of tricky stuff here. Like we're looking at it because of this break and this false breakdown, and buyers and they even traded into in that liquidity. So we know there's buying pressure. So we're looking for them to try to trade up into here. And we're looking for a pretty big stop run as well to unfold. Even these sellers in here, yeah, I like this idea of the stop run here a lot, because see the sellers that came in here, they could not auction back down in this area here at all. So this is where buyers can take control and we can get a price discovery to the upside, and we should see the big stop run in here to the upside. Right, so it's starting to unfold. Let's just zoom out a little bit more. You can see a little bit of a bump here on the stop run. We'll kind of cover maybe also a measured move in here. Okay, so let's just take this rectangle here. And the sellers in here, and there was some selling at the very bottom here, very little, but there was some. Okay, and now what we're going to do is take the same rectangle in here. And where are these sellers? Actually, the sellers are a little bit higher. So let me get rid of this. And let's go a little bit higher here. All right. Now we'll take this rectangle, duplicate it, draw another, and then we're going to move it above here. And that's where we would look for the stop run to happen. Okay? Because of the traders in here. Okay, now there's not liquidity. The liquidity is a little bit 2 ticks lower here at 15, not 1550. We're right in between two layers of high liquidity, 16 and 15. Okay, but we're looking for the stop run into it. Okay, makes sense. Again, just understanding the sellers in here and where they're likely to be buyers. Way back up. Okay, same thing here. Look at this here. Like the sellers come in, and then the auction failed down here. Some pretty good selling for this little range, but the auction failed. We do the same thing, and it matches this one as well. Okay, so let's see if we can get our stop run here up into 16. That's only 2 points, right? But it's understanding the market behavior in here. Okay, high liquidity below us, support at 46.16. What's the reaction? Finding our buyers here? Yep, a little bit, and they're pulling at 15 now. Okay, what about 16? Are they pulling at? No, they're still in here at 16 and 17. Okay, let's see. We're looking and we're anticipating that stop run. Okay, 16 starting to transact. Very little, but it's transacting. 68 contracts. All right, so it did our move, and there is a reason to take some profits into the stop run. We did get our stop run too. Okay, you know, it doesn't compare to that massive one over here, but let's take that data out of the picture, and then our line will probably be a little bit better here. Yeah, it's not much of a stop run, but it did do it. You know, these are just much bigger. All right, does that make sense too? This is just a potential way to consider your trade management of trading, taking your profit into the stop run. All right, reduce some risk. You don't know if after that stop run, it might reverse around and go back down the other way, looking for that bigger picture trade that we were looking at earlier of this bottom edge. Okay, and then, you know, it wasn't ready and we saw something else. So we looked at this opportunity or potential trade here. Okay, iceberg order in here as well. How big is that? It's pretty big, 500 or so, right in there, buying. And we're below it here. All right, let's see if we can now we're back into the range here, and I see a lot of selling coming in. Okay, so now we can like cancel, clear all of our drawings and look for the same thing again. Stop run, and then below that, down to here. Okay, and looks pretty good so far. See a lot of selling. I don't see buying. I see more demand, supply coming in at 14. Should get a few more sellers to hit 13, and we might get the break of 13 to come down to the bottom of this range here at what we were looking for earlier. It was down to the bottom of this range, around 11 3/4. Okay, and then potentially the range break, or I'm sorry, that was one of this to break, and then for it to come back down into here. Okay, and then we're looking for this to break as well at 09 here, 0950. Right, so here come the sellers. They've already traded into 13. Okay, and then we're looking for that 11 3/4, that liquidity here. There it is. Okay, again, potential trade management to take some off here. Right, now we'll come back and revisit it. Was it a good idea or not? Maybe, I mean, I like to kind of just reduce the risk, but there's still pulling here, you know, and we know there's momentum behind this. So however, okay, so I would reason that this has been a choppy day. So yeah, I'm going to take some profit at the bottom of this range here. All right, so anyway, that there would be my reasons for it. But now we're looking for the potential move here back down into 09. and then a break of 09 to our kind of 06 level down here in this liquidity at 06. Okay. And again, guys, these are not, this is not a trade recommendation. It's not a trading room in here. We are a starting point for you to consider some of these order flow and trade management techniques, but it's just the starting point. It's just the concepts. Go back and study it now. I was talking with a trader earlier today, and think about it here. If you went through and back tested just manually, you could do this by hand in an Excel spreadsheet, look at some of the swings, start to record it, and then look for a setup and take one of the ideas that we were covering here, like stop run, or one is trading up into the stop run and taking some profit. And then the other one was, because it's a stop run, looking for taking the other side of this trade and looking for the bigger move that we were looking for back in this area in here to unfold, right? So and then taking some profit down here. Now, so there's two different trade setups in here already. Now just take one of them and go back and study that idea. What if you can come up with 15, 17 trade examples, and you can record it? You don't have to back test it with a machine or some sort of software. You can measure it by hand. How much confidence is that going to build for you? Okay, now you have something, you've studied it, and you could do that in a day. You take a couple days, you'll have 30 or more. That's a good, like, it's a minimum amount for building your trading plan and your strategy. And think about how good you're going to be at it after just a couple of days of doing that. Just a couple days. Okay, that's how you can build a trading strategy or a trading plan, right? Now you back test it. Now you forward test it. Forward test it in the live environment like we're doing right now. Okay, because you have a lot of other questions to answer still. What time of day was it? What was the fundamentals kind of going on behind the scenes? And so you can record that down as well. And what was the volume overall? What was the bigger picture as well? Start to add that into your study. Now you've really got something. Okay, and then forward testing it like that, you can really start to pinpoint how you're going to manage it as well. And then once you have that, start to trade it in demo. Right? See if you can refine it better, optimize it better. All right, after you've done that now, and maybe that takes a few days. Okay, now you're going to have another probably, I don't know, 10 to 15 more examples to add into your plan. Now you've got about 50, let's say 45 examples in your spreadsheet. All right, and then now maybe you want to start risking some real money on it. Maybe you're ready for that. Okay, well, there's a beautiful thing in here with the and Rob is doing that right now. You can trade with micros, right? So you're not going to get annihilated. You can have a small account, and you can start to build this out. Think of the confidence you're going to have. Now, forward test it with on micros. Now you're probably going to have about 60, 70 different trade examples. You can have variations of it as well. You're going to know it really well. Probably about a week's worth of work, maybe more. Let's say it's 2 weeks worth of work. You've got a trading plan. And it could be just a few, that could even be just a few hours a day in a certain time frame. Okay. Now you're going to go every morning. You're going to wake up. You're going to be looking. You know exactly what you're going to be looking for. GPAN. I'm telling you that we're going through examples in here of what is potentially a good setup, but then it's a starting point for you to go back and study it. So look at our trade idea in here. We're looking for the stop run up into here and trading up into it, reversing, and then trading it back down into this was our first level of take profit here around 11. So somewhere around 14 to 11. Okay, it's 3 points, but we're looking for the bigger move here down to 6. All right, look at it now. Look at our big bulge here again. It's kind of gone back and forth. Now it's shifted and changed again. Look how it shifted and changed in here. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. So see how it bulged out up here because of all that trading activity, and then just because of recent trading activity, look at it now. Well, it definitely added more down in here, right? I mean, due to this new activity in here, right? So we got this big belly here. This is your B-shaped profile. Actually, it still was more here, even with that trading activity. Anyway, you get the idea, though. You can see how this got built out due to all that move to the upside. And now we're back down building out the profile at the lower level here. Okay, which adds again to that trade idea of the break and the move down. Okay, Peter, well, if it's back to VWAP is predictable, then go prove it. Prove it. How many times does it do it? When is it an opportunity to trade VWAP? I mean, to me, it's not as arbitrary a line as a moving average, but it's still, because a lot of people look at it. It only matters because people look at it and use it as a gauge. Okay, but just go prove it. You know, hey, look, I think Fibonacci levels are completely they're almost invalid. You know, that golden ratio that that the market's going to adhere to something like that is kind of nonsense. I mean, that's for breeding rabbits or flower petals or you know, whatever. The market's the participants in the behavior here. Yeah, however, go prove it. You know, if you want to trade the 618 level pullback all the time, great. Just go prove it. Okay. So, you know, our trade idea and breaking this level is unfolding right now. Okay. So, and we had reasons by understanding what was going on in here for this potential move here. Yeah, the correct setting for VWAP, reset at the market open. Let me put the VWAP on here. I usually do that. Just looking at the cash session here. So I don't know if my VWAP is even close to your guys' VWAP here. Here, I'll reset it at the cash open 9:30. Here we go. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, here, Peter, like, you know, this aligned with this kind of 11 level that we are looking at earlier because of the bottom of the range here. All right, well, you know, there you got some confluence with your VWAP trade back to VWAP. Okay, now here's the move through VWAP. Here's a retest back to VWAP. And the VWAP is going to be pretty much the same as your point of control. The point of control I like a lot more. That makes a lot more sense to me. That this is just where most traders are transacting. Now, even that, how much meaning does that have in my opinion? It's not a whole lot here, because this whole level here, there's a lot of trading from here, 14 down to about 10. There's a lot of trading. It looks pretty equal to me. Right, we've seen it chop around in here and build that whole profile out. Now it still is a B profile. There's more trading down at the bottom of the edge here. Okay, so we're still looking for the potential price discovery down to the downside. So guys, what are we looking for price discovery? Okay, to break this 10 level here. I'm sorry, Peter. I don't have all the answers or anything. I'm just giving you kind of, going through participants' behavior in here and I'm running it through that filter basically. That's all. And the POC as well, running it through that filter. What does it mean, right? And VWAP just seems a little more esoteric to me. Like, yeah, I understand it, and I know it's an average, but the one thing I really personally, what I believe in about the VWAP is a lot of people look at it, but that's it. But that's fine. So there's a lot of people. If there's a lot of people look at it, then build some trading patterns around it. Okay. Well, way to go, Peter. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, just we're here to go over what we see in the order book, both current and historical, and that context and relationship with the aggressors within the price structure. Okay, very simply, let's take VWAP off and POC off for a moment. Okay, and just looking at, and let's clear our drawings. All right, very simply, we're looking at price structure created by best bid and offer. In fact, you can even look at your candlesticks if you want, and say like, this is creating price structure too, but candlesticks just don't, they just fail to give you the data within the candle pattern or within the candle period. Okay, so it's very, very opaque view of the market. And then so we're looking at price structure with best bid and offer streaming back and forth. Then we're looking for the volume within it. What kind of edge is this giving us here? Okay, and then right now the edge down here, like for example, yeah, it's not so great actually. Like okay, stop run here, good. Now back and forth in here. We're looking for follow through here, right? So I don't really see that's not really what we're looking for in here. We're looking for not buyers up in here. We're looking for exhaustion and then sellers again down here. All right, so anyway, we're looking for the volume within the price structure to give us insight and edge. Okay, same concepts with that volume profile. We're looking for sellers down here. That was the answer to the question earlier. What are we looking for that is driving price away from a high volume node? It's heavy volume we're looking for. The aggressors to upend and move this market away from this big, huge value area here. Okay? So now the aggressors are starting to show. All right, well, can they break it? Now we have, remember all those icebergs that were at our 10 level? Those guys are now in profit, and they're positioned. So now they're just sitting back and waiting and watching for the aggressors to hit it back down into maybe 06 or so. All right, and then now let's just add in the heat map. This is the other side of the trade. Okay, so understanding that context, where is the supply, where is the demand in terms of the limit buy and sell orders. Okay, and look at that skewed book right now. Okay, our 06 just transacted and big stop run below. Okay, so there it is. All right, now this might be, now there's a lot of momentum here to the downside. However, we just had a big stop run too. Hey, would I exit my position? Yeah, maybe on a day like today. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. That's a pretty good move, and we got this capitulation here, or the stop run here, right? So, and I see the high liquidity in here, and buyers coming in and taking it on here at 05. Okay, so yeah, I think I would just look for my next setup after that. I'm done. Right, so that's another way to look at it. Yeah, now we just have to step back and take a look again here. Peter, you're on Sim. You bought it 14.25 and stopped out at 11. Thought it was a pullback. What'd you do wrong? I'm not really sure. Let me show you something though. Like if you are interested in this, I think it's a great program that we have here. And hold on just a minute. Maybe you would be interested in doing something like this. Okay, signing up for this Bookmap Academy. You can read through here. You would apply for the Bookmap Junior Academy first. That's the first step, is application. And if you're accepted to a Bookmap Junior Academy, then you've got to prove something in here by meeting some thresholds and quotas. If you do, you can be you can join be invited to join the Bookmap Academy, and then you can get Bookmap for free and add-ons for free as well. But you got to continue to do, build out your trading plan and the content, right? So we got this whole program set up for you guys. You can become a coach after you've been in the Bookmap Academy for a bit, and then you can also become a streamer in here and stream in Bookmap. Now, let me show you. Like, there's Tom B, Doug, and Moby have all gone this route and have come through Bookmap this way, through the Bookmap Academy. Right, so and there'll be more. If you're interested in that, then go to the Bookmap Academy. I'll put it into the chat here for you guys in Discord as well as in YouTube. Okay, and then you can start to answer these questions for yourself as well. What did you do wrong? Okay, and you'll be in the environment as well, Pan, to ask questions to others. All right, so guys, please hit the like button here. This is something that we always request. We want to go through and provide this kind of content for you as much as we can If you find it valuable, please hit the like button. That really helps us. And then we'll continue on doing more and more of it, and offer these programs like the Academy, bring you into it, and learn how to trade at a much better level, much higher level. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Deborah. I hope it's going well, Deborah. I hope this has been helpful for you. Take a step back, look at the bigger picture here. And you don't have to trade, but start to come up ideas, just like these scenarios that we're going through. We don't know, but we go through the scenario, and then once we start to see that scenario unfold, like in here, it's like, well, okay, well, there was no selling interest down here. Start to see the buyers come in, looking for them to, and the stop run up into here, and then it's like, okay, it's a stop run. That's what we're looking for, but that profile is built out here, so you can trade it back down to the bottom, and then the continuation, and then that's exactly what ended up playing out. In fact, it went go further. Yeah, it's gone further now too. But into 04. Keep it really simple, Deborah. You don't want to make it complex. I would suggest find something that gravitate toward, and then study it, like we had mentioned earlier. Right? Because if you can have maybe 25, 30, 50 studied setups under your belt, you're on your way. And you're just going to get better at it. And keep it simple. Come back, ask questions in here, and yeah, that's that. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Please hit that like button, and we'll wrap it up. We'll call it a day. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's see, Paco, if you speak Portuguese, he is presenting now, as well as Tom B. So you can jump over to that room, and he's going to go through volume profile. We had Charles earlier today going through volume profile as well. Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thank you for sharing the image. Slow down, thank you as well. You've got another image in here. Let me put this into the chat as well. Copy the link here and put it in for you. If you want to come and continue the discussion over in our Discord All Markets room, I believe that's the link. Should work for you. Jump over to the channel and you'll see some of the images that Slow Down and Rob had posted in here. All right, so you can see they've been using Bookmap for quite a while, and you can see the expertise here in some of the markups in the charts. All right, so thanks, everybody. We'll catch up with you tomorrow, same time. Okay, yeah, take care. Bye-bye.